So to start off, maybe tell us first a little bit about yourself and how you ended up at Leonardo.
Yeah, sure. So basically a copywriter by trade, an entrepreneur as well. And I've been going in different industries, especially in the tech industry for a long time. And a couple of months ago, it was December, I was in a Discord server with a couple of friends that we have in common with the founder of Leonardo, which is kind of like an invite only Discord for people mostly in the crypto scene, but it has like a lot of people on other tech scenes. And a guy called Jameson, he was posting about Leonardo. You know, the name kind of stuck in my brain because I love Leonardo da Vinci, and I was starting seeing a lot of posts about generative AI, and suddenly it hit me like, you know, these guys are just starting. Perhaps I should just like launch some kind of proposal to them. I sent Jameson a message, told him, hey guys, are you looking for somebody to grow your project? Because I'm a growth hacker, kind of. Like I've been growing projects for a long, long time in different areas, from the music industry here in Mexico, where I'm located, to, you know, Facebook pages, Twitter projects. Then I went into the whole crypto, and I helped 2 projects go to a $1.4 billion market cap, and the other one for $700 million, making like $100 million per month, and it was fun. I helped them grow that kind of projects. So I launched that proposal. I told them, hey guys, are you looking for somebody to grow your project? They told me, actually, yeah, we're looking for somebody, because we were talking with several VCs, and they are looking to they're asking us to gain traction and, you know, like get a little bit better in our socials and our marketing strategy. I was like, okay, let's do something. They told me that if I could do just like some kind of written proposal, I don't do them because I don't believe in those. I think they just like make they just put it in a paper and throw it in a paper bin and go like, yeah, thank you for your proposal. So I went to Reddit and started to get them viral like on the same day. And I also started running some ads because I'm good at that. and
I love it. I love it. I feel like the invaluable startup skill is growth. It's all about like, you know, building a great product and growing it and getting that growth is so crucial. I didn't know you did music industry as well. Like you did stuff there. What did you do in the music industry?
So I was a rapper for a long, long time.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God, we have to get some footage of this.
Yeah, I used to do some rapping stuff back in the days. So I helped. Then I also was a musical producer, and I helped like a lot of projects just grow. And nowadays, we have like a huge battle rap scene in Mexico, and most of the guys that are the top guys in the industry, I kind of advise to them like what to do still to this day. So, you know, it's fun.
Totally off topic. But like, have you seen this Drake, the AI generated Drake video? Yeah. Not video. There's like a song. Are you up on that? Like that was, the song was amazing. Like it came out really good. It was Drake and The Weeknd. I was like shockingly good.
It's wild. And I've also seen like some Eminem AI and, you know, the Kanye West AI. It's gonna make a big change in the whole industry. Like I'm waiting for what's gonna happen. But yeah, so I did that in the past. And so I started like helping them. the same day they were like, yeah, I think you're the dude for helping us grow this stuff. So I joined them. I started growing the project in different areas. Suddenly they offered me to also become the CMO of Leonardo. And we launched a huge marketing strategy basically to gain traction, like that's what they wanted. That's what I gave them. So we talk with a lot of influencers on YouTube. We launch a lot of ads on Twitter, on Facebook, on Reddit. Which is kind of like the first stage that I usually do with projects, except in the crypto sphere, because that's like super hard. But everywhere else, I usually go through the advertisement stage. And it's more like getting awareness, getting people to see your name over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And that helped, because when we reach out to influencers, they were like, yeah, I know Leonardo. And at the same time, I start growing my account on Twitter, like connecting with a lot of AI people, AI influencers like yourself. And it also it also helped, to make connections around the industry. And eventually I was invited to another Discord with AI influencers, all the guys that are creating like the YouTube videos, Twitter threads and everything. Yeah. So
I love it. Sorry, I want to take a deep dive into this because I think it's such an important subject and everyone wants to know about growth. But I think what would be good is just give us a quick intro of what Leonardo.ai is for what people that don't know.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So Leonardo.ai is a content suite that allows people to generate AI assets, especially like graphical assets at this point. Mm-hmm. It allows you to train your own models in a very easy way and very fast way that you can just, it was starting, at first it was geared towards game developers, but it grew so fast. So it's now for general public. Some people call it the Midjourney alternative or killer. I don't think we're the killer of Midjourney, but I think we're trying to do some interesting stuff on the generative AI world.
Yeah. The thing I just have to interject here because I'm so passionate. I think it's a fantastic product. The thing where it wins over Midjourney is you don't have to generate your images on a Discord server. You get this like nice interface that's all yours and you don't have to wait in a line. And so I really enjoyed that part of it. There's just so many cool features I enjoy, like training your own models. Of course, this is my own partial product perspective, but I should. Tell us more. Yeah,
we also have like the Canvas tool, which resembles a little bit to DALL-E's own Canvas tool. However, we allow you to do it using stable diffusion 1.5, stable diffusion 2.1, and also, it allows you to fine tune different parts of it. We also have text to texture feature that we just launched, and we also have an API, which I think it's missing in a lot of these products, and it allows for developers to just like build on top of Leonardo. And eventually, like some people want us to have like our own Discord bot. They will be able to have their own Discord bot using Leonardo. And I think like one of the key aspects that people haven't mentioned a lot is the community part of it. Like we've been thinking very strong on how to create a community inside of Leonardo and, becoming the go-to place for all the displaced artists, especially those that started to go into the AI route, and then you saw all this huge movement go against them, on DeviantArt, on ArtStation. So what we noticed is that all of these artists kind of lost their home when they decided to start using AI, and we've been bringing them to Leonardo, and part of the plan is to become like the go-to place for the AI artist movement, which I think it's not something anybody else is doing at the moment. And we've been building a huge Discord community as well, and a huge community inside Leonardo, and that's kind of like our moat right now.
Yeah, yeah. I think what's really interesting is the like AI, the concept of an AI artist is actually pretty new. Who are these people? Are they people who have been artists before and they're just taking on AI tools? Like what does that group look like?
So we have different sets of people, I will say. We have those that are, we call them like enhanced AI artists, kind of like that. Like they're already artists. They have already been in the AI scene before, using disco diffusion, then stable diffusion, all this. They were using this Google Collab notebook and collaborating with them, intervening in all the AI generated material with their own tools, with Photoshop, with their own, knowledge about making pictures and making photos and all of that stuff. So that's one of the, one part of the community. We also have people that have never, they have like these artistic aspirations. So it's more like they wanted to do stuff with AI, with art, and they didn't have these tools before, or they weren't that gifted. And so, for example, a guy that knows how to create some kind of drafts, he kind of like creates, basic drawings, but they're not like professional. And using Leonardo, he has been able to just like run it through the models, being able to produce like proper, I wouldn't say like proper art, but like more professional art in a way. And we also have like the marketers, which is funny, like people who are just seeing a business opportunity in all this stuff, and like they're creating all kind of stuff for kids books, drawing books, what else? T-shirts and all this stuff. So you have like all these different groups of people that are using Leonardo, and of course the game developers, which is still a huge part of the community, that are using it to assist themselves in the process of creating game assets in a faster way and iterate over and over again. So we have all these communities inside the community.
That is a really good overview, because like I talk to various people in the industry, and my background is, like people in big tech, and as they're seeing generative AI come up, like the biggest question is like, well, what are the use cases? What are people using it for? Like, where's the business? So one thing I want to pick up on that you mentioned is people are learning how to use generative AI, Leonardo.ai, to actually make money. What are you seeing from like a business perspective? You mentioned marketers, so clearly like assets. I think you mentioned games as well, but like if you could go a bit deeper into that, I think that was really interesting.
Yeah, we have different verticals that you could possibly see it as a business. One of them is the people who are creating print on demand stuff. So you have all these kind of T-shirts, what do you call it? Like cushions, canvas art, and all of that stuff. Like it's getting very popular, and even people are asking to, like some integration with Printful, with Shopify and all that stuff. Then you have, as you said, the game artists that are using it to iterate very fast on their stuff. You have people from the fashion industry that want to have like more designs for their clothing, for what is it called? Bags, handbags. Some people from the jewelry industry, like looking for different models that they can create and get inspiration from. Some of the guys from Dreambox, that is a group of people that are creating like AI to physical items. They're looking for, connecting Leonardo with that. So you have like plushes, you have, stickers, and I think like it's just like an extension of everything that can be printed. You can put it on a, from AI to physical stuff. Then you have people also from the publishing industry creating their book covers in a very fast way. And sometimes they don't get exactly what they're looking for, but they get more inspiration that they can provide to somebody who is a book designer and be like, hey, I want a best-selling book cover for, let's say, a kid's book or, Dragon's novel or something like that. So yeah, we have like all these different verticals of people making money from it, and also if they're not making money exactly with it, it's part of the production process to make money in other industries. So it also helps with that, especially because you have this part of being able to train your own model. So you have like all these guys, let's say a publishing house that has their way of creating their book covers, and they can just train their model with like 15 or 8 or 20, like a small amount of images that they have already created, and they can start producing more and more and more and get like the same feeling, the same design in a faster way. So I think like that's one of the key points that we've been working on. Or even designers, like bag designers who just put like their different ways of creating stuff, and they just like generate new designs that they can later create a physical object for that. So yeah, super crazy, all the different use cases, because I know the same what you just said. Like people are thinking like, what's the business model here? Can you guys really create money out of it? Like is this gonna just like replace the artist, or like there's all of these questions in the air right now, and I think this is important.
It's all evolving, and it's not clear how it's going to play out. So the other thing I'm curious is when originally Leonardo.ai was started, was there one thesis around who would use it, and then you found out that it was different, or how? What was the original thesis, and what did you find that was maybe unexpected with respect to how people are using the product?
Yeah, so the original thesis was that game artists will use the Leonardo.ai tools, which is the main target that we were looking for. But I think like the viral stuff just got on, and we started getting a lot of people from different verticals just coming in, and YouTubers covering Leonardo. And I think like the whole narrative of the Midjourney killer kind of helped a lot into bringing us into the spotlight, into the mainstream spotlight, and be like, hey, like these guys are creating this product that is, it's not using Discord, it's using a web UI. And I think that also the fact that we used a very nice UI and UX, that we work very hard on having an easy way for people to just generate images in very fast and a very generous token allocation that we provided for people to create art. It also helped us to just like bring people from all over the place. It wasn't the plan, right? We wanted to target the game artists, and that's who we started to target at first. But when we saw this whole movement of AI artists or AI enthusiasts coming to the Discord server, talking about it, then using the product, then telling their friends about it, it just kind of exploded, and we started like interviewing a lot of people, like, who are you, what are you using this for? We have a guy, Dennis, who has been interviewing I don't know how many people inside our community, but he usually has like 4 or 5 calls per day, talking with the power users, asking them questions like, what are you using this for? How are you planning to monetize this? Are you planning to monetize this, or is this just like art? And yeah, we found like the verticals that I told you previously, like people using it for book covers, people using it for marketing purposes, people using it to just like generate objects. And it's like so wide that it has made us to consider pivoting into this new area of becoming like the go-to place for AI artists that just want to find a home. Because
I love it. Again,
it's
for
crazy.
me, I love just how easy it is to use. You don't have to wait. I've trained my own models using it. So it's just like a really, really sweet product. What are some things we should look out for that you guys are planning to ship? Maybe that might be. I'd love to hear about that.
Oh, so you want our roadmap?
You don't have to reveal whatever, maybe proprietary, but like I'm just curious where you see it, if you can share what we could expect, look forward to, like what should we get excited about?
Yeah. So one of the things that JJ, who is the founder of Leonardo, has been talking about with all the team, because let me just like create a small parenthesis here just to introduce a little bit of the team and who are these guys, because most people at the start thought that Leonardo was just like an SD wrapper, right? Stable diffusion wrapper with a nice looking UI and UX, and that was it. But just to set things very clear, we have an ML team, a machine learning team of people who are like, like genius like you, like they know the tech, they're technical like you, and they really know that stuff. So they, like we have Ethan from the Disco Diffusion days. He created his own diffusion models in the past. And we have like Sammy, and we have a couple of guys that really know their stuff, and they have been optimizing a lot of the stuff that happens in the background, like making it faster, or sometimes applying the models that exist already into a new way, or a way to integrate all these tools together. Or let's say, for example, the ControlNet example, that it just appeared, but the problem with ControlNet is that their license is not available for commercial usage. So these guys, they just like read the papers, read what was going on. They used stuff that they previously had worked on for Leonardo that we hadn't implemented before, and just like stitched all the pieces together and created this proprietary ControlNet that we have. So I think like one of the future use cases of Leonardo is going to be this kind of like, I don't know if I should say this. Let me just like think how
All right.
a playground for different tools that exist in the wild, but in a more cohesive way. And I think that that's me saying too much. I'm not sure if I should say this.
Yeah.
It's okay. Just leave it. I think that by the time we have this interview, we will have already a lot of tools uploaded.
Yeah. No,
So,
I think that's a very good pain point. Like just from a user perspective, is a lot of these tools are not, they're not unified. But as you were talking, I think the other thing that really struck me, where you guys have done an amazing job, is taking research to production. Because in my experience, there's the people who do the AI research and they live in a world of their own. And then there's taking that into the wild and making an actual product. And I think, kudos to you guys for like bringing those two worlds together and and getting it production ready. Because I think a lot of these AI capabilities are, the research piece is still ahead of what's out there. I think one that's really interesting is video. I don't know if that's something you're planning on, but that one is also interesting. Do you think, actually, this is an interesting question. Do you envision other modalities, incorporating other modalities like audio, like we talked about music earlier, video, etc.?
So it's part of I wouldn't say like the nearby roadmap, but there is some considerations, some talks inside the team about bringing other technologies that are not text to image. But still, we're debating a lot of stuff because we don't want to spread too thin, which is also a problem that we've encountered. Like we have these guys that are very quick to just like look at a research paper and do their own research and then create a product out of it. But at the same time, we have to be very wary of not, spreading too thin, creating products that people don't use a lot, because that's kind of like part of the problem that we found. Like that's why we're also doing all this interview with the people that are using Leonardo and be like, hey, what are you using these for? How can we extend that skill that you already have, or that job that you're already having in creating and this kind of stuff? Like, how can we help you to make it faster or extending it? And that's kind of like the fine line that we are always walking on, like, hey, should we add this new technology? Should we just like wait a little bit? Because what if they don't use it? Or, there are companies that are strictly focused on text to video, like Runway, or we don't want to step into their toes because it's kind of like losing our focus.
What are some interesting like challenges that maybe you didn't expect that you've run into? Let's say from a growth side of things specifically.
I mean, I'm not sure if like something we didn't see or we didn't plan, because we've had quite some experience in growing stuff, but it's more like, even if you plan for it and you know that it's gonna grow, sometimes having the back end to manage all of the people that are coming, like right now our problem is not growth, it's more depth of like making more connections inside a community, and we didn't expect it to grow that fast. So I knew it was gonna grow fast because the whole market was just pushing for it. But the first 2 months it was more like, we have 10,000 users, we have 15 people coming in, 50,000 people, 20,000, and then it was like one day, hey, what the hell happened? It's like now we have 50,000, and the next day we have like 100,000, and then it started going the hockey stick. So I think nobody prepares you for that. And even if and you told the team like, hey guys, we have to be really prepared for all of this stuff and have our back end and like the technical side of things, like we need to be aware of that it doesn't break while our users are joining. Making stuff like pinging everybody suddenly on the Discord server, stuff like that. But I think like that's more of he's using the product. It's part of the growth that we didn't expect, or we expected it, but not in a, like sometimes people generate stuff and that you wouldn't like to see, and you have like a special teams now that has to be constantly checking what are the people creating. I think you kind of had a similar experience in Meta with the
Oh yeah.
shooter, and that kind of like
Oh yeah.
nasty side of things of the technology. So yeah, I think like although we had kind of like the idea, yeah, this might happen in the future, you know, but we're gonna be able to really tackle that on. Like suddenly you start growing so much, and then you have to find people who are gonna be looking at all the prompts and creating tools around it, detecting the intent of the prompt, seeing what the hell people are, you know, creating, having our own community reporting this kind of stuff. And I think that's like the dark side of the AI. And
Yeah.
yeah, it kind of
I think
sucks.
I actually think it's a dark side of any internet community or social product. And now you're seeing it manifest itself in the AI products as well. But I think this is a really interesting topic because just industry wide, there's been some guidelines, but of course there's still it's an evolving field. And then, of course, there's the regulatory aspect, which is still a big open question. Just, you know, but I'm sure guardrails. I mean, it's important that companies put guardrails around it. So I'm really glad to hear you say that you guys are investing. You have to invest in that part of it. But it's a very hard problem. Yeah, no question about it. Especially as you grow in scale. It just becomes harder. Yeah, and there's so many different aspects to, you know, you talked about the moderation aspect, you talked about it in prompting, you talked about it in generating of images. I'm sure you have people that you want to, like, at Meta, we had people that would get like 3 strikes, and then they'd get kicked off the platforms. You're like moderating the users. So there's so many different dimensions to this problem, but a really important and big problem there. I want to hear, you know, what I'd love to hear from you is, like, let's say you're a startup founder, of which I'm talking to a lot of people that are really excited and want to start companies in this space. What would your advice be for somebody if they were starting a company today and had to think about the growth aspect of it, which is, you know, one of the most important things of building a business?
I think the first thing they need to really define and clarify is who are they targeting? Like, who's the buyer persona, the customer they want? Because I see a lot of people in the space that are creating just like tools just for the sake of it without fully knowing who is going to use it and what's the need for that. So that's something that I found at the start when I was joining Leonardo. Like we had like several profiles, and we had to like you know, shorten them into like, who are we really talking to? Because it's gonna hurt your conversions if you're trying to talk to everybody, if you're not focusing on who is that person that you want to bring in, because they have their own language, they have their own needs, they have their, it's not the same if you're talking to a startup founder and saying like, hey, we have to scale, as if you're talking with an entrepreneur. You're like, we're going to grow your project. Like, it's the same, but it's not the same, right? So having all, like, who is the right person that you want to target? What is your offering? Because that's also super important, like having a straight offer that you can provide to people and that it's going to be interesting for them. And what's the messaging? Like, how are we going to communicate what we have to these people in order for them to be interested in our project? I feel like that's like 101 growth strategy, but I don't see that a lot in the, at least in the AI space, with every founder just creating stuff, which I love. But as a marketing, in the marketing way of thinking, it's like, dude, that's good, but who's gonna use this stuff? Like,
Yeah.
who's gonna use your analogy creator if you're not focusing on a certain client or profile?
Yeah. So you talked about
yeah.
the focus on the client. What about, like, let's say you decide exactly like who you're going to focus on. Like, what are your tips around positioning? Because I noticed one of the things you do really well is you position things really well, you frame them well. What are your tips around that part of it?
So it's all about finding what's the unique mechanism that you have in your product that allows you to position yourself in a different in a different place that the rest of the competitors. Like, what makes you unique, which goes down to the unique selling proposition, kind of. But it's more like, what's that mechanism that it's making your stuff different from the rest. So there's a lot, let's say that you have a lot of clones creating the same stuff, right? So one of the things that we found in Leonardo was that people were positioning ourselves as just another stable diffusion wrapper. So you start listening to that feedback, and you have to go with the founder or whoever is creating the product and be like, okay, what would you say to these people? Like, why are we not a stable diffusion wrapper? What makes us unique? And then they go and start, babbling a lot into the, yeah, we have this stuff and this stuff. And you have to find, like, what's that unique aspect of your product that makes it very different from the rest, and that you can position it in the industry as the first, as the first to market, right? Like the first person that is using this mechanism. Even if everybody else is doing it, there's this analogy with, I don't know if you saw Mad Men, but
yes.
there was this,
yes.
There's
yes.
this scene that they're talking about the Lucky Strikes, and they're asking, like, like, everybody was marketing cigarettes, and they were like, what's different from your cigarette? Well, it's toasted. And the guy was like, yeah, that's it, right? That's what makes it different. And he's like, yeah, but everybody does the same process. Yeah, but nobody mentions that. So that automatically puts you in a different place and positions you as the first to market doing that stuff, even if everybody else is doing it. So it's all about, like, finding, it's called, like, the 5 sophistication stages of the market. So you have to find in which stage your product is in. If there is a lot of competitors, then you have to find that unique mechanism that makes it different. And later on, as the market starts to develop more and more, you have to create an identity, which is right now what we're doing at Leonardo. It's like, yeah, everybody can create their own models. Everybody can just, like, integrate whatever. But what we have now is a community of people that come to Leonardo because they want to be part of something bigger than them. Because we have a mission, we have a vision of where we want to go. Because this makes it a cool place for you to come back every day, every morning, talk with people, which is what makes an identity of the whole platform. Like, you want to share your stuff on the platform, you want to go back, and I think that's what founders have to be looking at whenever they're trying to market and position their product.
Yeah, no, that's great advice. Are there, like, when you think about growth, who inspires you, or is there somebody you look up to, or are there any books that you would recommend on the topic? How can we get deeper into this?
Yeah, I think, like, the first person that inspired me a lot was Gary Vaynerchuk. When I first started, like, he said something, I'm not sure if it was him, but I kind of, like, understood it from him, which is do stuff that doesn't scale at first. And most people don't do it. They want to automate everything. They don't want to talk with their customers. They don't want to do the hard work. But I think that's what makes the startup just like grow faster, you know, talking with people every day, sending them a message, be like, hey dude, what are you using this product? Taking notes, you putting their words back into the whole marketing material. That's like one of the first things. I also think like Eugene Schwartz, which was a marketer in the 50s, and he has this book called Breakthrough Advertising. That's, if anybody's into marketing and growth, that's like the Bible of every marketer that I know that are good at growing stuff, because he talks about all these marketing stages and the awareness levels that people have whenever they encounter your product. Another person that has been, you know, taking all this stuff and applying it into the digital space is George Ten. He's on Twitter. That dude is a beast at doing this stuff. What else? Yeah, I think like those are the like for growth stuff. And do, you know, like do stuff that people don't usually do, because that's also something that I found in my career, that just don't listen to what everybody's saying and go like, yeah, that's the real truth. Like try to do stuff that if people are saying like post 5 times, I posted 70 times and see if that works. Experiment. I think like that's the main giveaway that I can provide here. Like, you know, like
no, I love
experiment a lot.
I love it. Other than Gary, I don't think I've heard, I mean, and you're a Mad Men reference. Like all of these are new to me, so definitely go check them out. I love this convo. Great product. I feel like I learned so much from you. And I got to say, like, as a tech person, it's like, you don't appreciate marketing until you have to do it. And then you realize like how sophisticated, it's just so sophisticated, and it's just such a unique skill. And it's like, again, I've done startups before. It's like, you don't have your marketing down, your growth, you're never going to make it. So I love this convo and learning from you. And I'm so glad we had a chance to connect and get this out there. Anything else you want to mention to, you know, as we wrap up, or what should we look out for? What should we stay tuned from Esteban?
I really want to thank you for that comment, because one of the things that I found is that technical founders usually see marketing as, you know, everybody can do that stuff. Like, you know, it's just like posting on Twitter and people will come and just create a great product and people will come.
It is so hard. It is so hard. And it's a very unique skill. And there's so much involved. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Because what I found is that of course, you need a great product. Like marketing is going to bring you customers, but product is going to keep them coming back. So it's like a two-side of the equation that you must have. Like having a great product is super important, because that's going to, you know, bring more people in, because, you know, the word of mouth just start to spread, of course. But if you have marketing, it's like an accelerant for that. And if you have a great product and great marketing, it just starts to do this growth flywheel that makes people join and enjoy and love your product.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that, because I have a lot of founders telling me the opposite, and it just kills me.
No, it's, I think both sides, you know, it sounds kind of like, makes sense, right? Like just build a great product and do great marketing. But like the reality is, you got to do really well on both and not screw it up. And when it happens, it's magic. But it's very hard to do right from both ends. Hey, listen, thank you so much. I really enjoyed the conversation. I'll be watching out from, you know, what's new in Leonardo coming up next, and everything you do. And just as we wrap it up, what's the best way for people to find you?
Yeah, you can find me at the Moon Midas on Twitter, or at LinkedIn, Esteban Constante. That's the best place for you to find me.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
At least in the English speaking world.
In the English speaking
yeah.
world. Yeah. Thank you so much, Esteban.
Thank you, Natalia. And thanks your audience too for staying and watch this. See ya.
See you. Take care.